Hello students, welcome to Sauce's classes. Today we'll be talking more about limits in this video. So in our previous videos on limits, we talked about the definition of limit, we talked about the different theorems on limit, we talked about the limiting value of a function, and we talked about some important limits which are important from an exam point of view. But there is a formula. Now today the topic, the thing that I'll be talking about is very important from exam point of view. That topic is known as the L'Hospital's rule. L'Hospital's rule. So basically in French, the person who named it is basically known as L'Hospital. So he was a French mathematician. So as you can see, this here S is not there, but it is pronounced as L'Hospital. So these are the basic things that you need to know. The first things that you need to know about L'Hospital. Many of them confuse the terminology associated, don't know about the pronunciation associated with the rule. So basically this is the L'Hospital rule, or you can also write as the LH rule. So this is the rule that we need to talk about. So this rule is a very convenient way. Why is this rule very important? This rule is very important because it is a very convenient way to calculate the limits of indeterminate forms. Now, what are the indeterminate forms? Let me give you some examples of some indeterminate forms. Suppose we consider the function x ln x as x tends to 0 plus. So as you can see over here, ln 0 is undefined. Ln 0 is undefined. Ln 0 is undefined, or undefined, and it tends to, ln of 0 basically tends to minus infinity. So basically this is of the format 0 into infinity format. Or if we take the x downwards, so basically if we take it like ln of x by 1 by x, so then in that case it will become a format of infinity by infinity format. So this is an indeterminate form. One more example is x e to the power minus of x as x tends to infinity. So this format can be written as x by e to the power x. So as x tends to infinity, this takes the form infinity by infinity, which is an indeterminate form. Let me give you another example. Ln of x by x as x tends to infinity. So basically this is of the format infinity by infinity format. So this is another indeterminate form. So the indeterminate forms are basically of the type 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity. These are the various type of indeterminate formats. In this kind of indeterminate formats, the L'Hospital rule is a very important rule in finding out the value of that limit. Let me give you what is the idea of that limit of the L'Hospital rule. So L'Hospital rule, by definition, it means that limit of f of x by g of x as x tends to a is equal to limit of f dash x by g dash x as x tends to a, provided condition 1 is that f of a is equal to g of a, and that is equal to 0. And the second condition is that the right hand limit exists. Let us do some examples. So previously in the earlier videos we did an example. Suppose this example 1, we did an example of limit of x square minus 1 divided by x minus 1 as x tends to 1. So what we did over here, if we put x equal to 1, so this is basically of the 1 square minus 1, that is 0, and 1 minus 1. So basically this is of the format of 0 by 0. Earlier what we did is that we tried to use a process where we broke down x square minus 1 as x minus 1 into x plus 1 divided by x minus 1, and this x minus 1 cancelled out in the numerator and the denominator, and we were left with limit of x tends to 1 x plus 1. So this is basically equal to 1 plus 1, and we got 2 as the answer. So we employed the process of cancellation and got to this answer. But by using LH method, what we'll do is that we'll differentiate the numerator and we'll differentiate the denominator. So in this case, by LH rule, we'll get limit x tends to 1. So x square minus 1, if we differentiate by x, so on the numerator we'll get twice of x, and on the denominator we'll get 1. So basically this is limit of twice as x tends to 1, and we get the answer as 2. So by this format we can do the sum. Now let me use another example to show you the various variety of questions that are available. Let me take limit of cos of x minus 1 by x square as x tends to 0. So now you can see over here if we put x equal to 0, then cos 0 is equal to 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0 on the numerator, and then 0 squared is again 0. So this is a 0 by 0 format. So now what we'll try to do, by applying the LH rule, we'll differentiate the numerator and the denominator. So cos of x minus 1 upon differentiating by x, we'll get minus of sine of x by twice x. So as you can see, again this is of the format this is of the format 0 by 0 format. So the question is, will we stop doing the LH method over here? No, we'll continue the LH method till we get a format which is not of the 0 by 0 or the infinity by infinity format as required. So again differentiating, we'll get limit of x tends to 0 minus sin x will be basically minus of cos of x, and twice of x upon differentiating, this will be 2. So if we put x equal to 0 over here, this will now be cos of 0 is 1, so minus 1 and 2. So the value is minus 1 by 2. So this is the process that we apply for LH rule. I'll be doing more sums on the L'Hospital rule in the subsequent videos, or if you want questions upon it, you can just comment on the video and I'll get back to you. Till then, keep solving more sums on limits, and if you get any problem, if you have any trouble, or if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me. So see you later. Thank you.